Eventually it got to a point where my sister was telling my mom that every night she was having this dream where a black shadow would come out of the bathroom in the master bedroom and start dragging her out of her bed.
Your mom or your sister was
My
having
sister was having that dream, and she started telling my mom this. And when she would wake up from the dream, she would be on the floor, like almost as if she had been being dragged towards the bathroom. And she had this dream 5 days in a row. And every time she said that she would wake up closer and closer to the bathroom. And one morning, I am awoken to her literally screaming her head off.
Okay, so you have this experience in this house. You guys move out.
Right.
Do you start researching and just like looking into all these things at that point?
Well, we move out, and I didn't experience any paranormal activity since, like, after that. I didn't live in a haunted house. You know, I never experienced anything again. And when I was 15, I started getting into all these paranormal ghost hunting shows. And I'm like, well, these look fake. And most of them are, to be frank. And
what are some popular ghost hunting shows that you know for sure are fake?
Ghost Adventures is fake. If you watch Twin Paranormal on YouTube, they're very popular. They're fake. Sam and Colby have been caught faking stuff multiple times. These are like some of the most popular people in the paranormal space. Ghost hunters have been caught being fake. A lot of them.
Is the demographic that watches these videos, if they are fake, could you compare it to like wrestling, where most of the fans know it's a fake wrestling match, but it's still entertaining, so they're just still watching it and they still love it? Or is more the demographic like just actually believing it? I
would say that a lot of the demographic genuinely believe these things. Now, for the more extremely dramatized shows like Ghost Adventures, I think a lot of the audience is aware that it's fake. But the reason I think there's really a problem with it is that to call yourself a paranormal investigator is implying that you're a researcher, you're furthering the study of something. Whereas what these people are doing, they're not furthering anything. They're not bringing credible people on, you know, from the scientific community to help back them. They're not doing anything. I mean, they just go into a haunted location with ghost hunting specific equipment, which barely anyone knows how it works. I'm one of the people that do know how it works, and most of them are not reliable at all. And it's just not really furthering the study of the field at all. And I think that's disingenuous to imply that it is all real. And
now, what are some shows that you would say are furthering the field?
Paranormal Nightmare with the Foreman brothers. They always keep it real. BuzzFeed Unsolved with Shane Madej, Ryan Bergara. I can say for a fact that one's completely real. Same thing with Ghost Files. But, you know, these shows aren't as popular because, to be, like I said, it's the most misleading hobby because they're just not as entertaining as Ghost Adventures. Ghost hunting is pretty boring.
So you're in high school really getting into this stuff. Were your friends like, bro, because I didn't know anybody in high school that was into this for real.
Yeah, well, it was like a half joke for some people. So the super skeptical people thought I was crazy, which fair enough, you know what I mean? It's like when you meet somebody and you find out they're a paranormal investigator, the automatic assumption is that they're super hardcore in their belief, which for me isn't necessarily true. I mean, there's a lot of hauntings I'll look at, I'll be like, that's fake. I don't believe that, you know what I mean? But I see where they're coming from if they don't know me personally. So some people would joke, and I started people started talking about me at school. Like I would be, you know, in the lunch line or, you know, just somewhere out in the hallway, and people would be like, oh my God, it's the paranormal guy, as like a half joke. But my friends thought it was really cool. A lot of people would just ask me to go out on my investigations just to see what it was like.
To come with you?
Yeah, just to see. And it actually got to a point where so many people asked me to go on an investigation that I was like, well, if I were to just take everyone on an investigation individually, it would probably take like 10. So I'm just going to have an event. So on August 10th of this summer, I was like, here's Vintage Trixie, which is an antique store who has had haunted objects donated to them. And all the employees claim they've experienced some pretty intense paranormal activity. Ghost Hunting 101, here's the event. 25 ticket max.
I saw that was your first event.
Yeah.
How'd that go?
Great. Oh my gosh, it was incredible. it was like the first 30 minutes I gave a lecture on the paranormal, talking about the difference between ghosts and demons, the difference between like different theological beliefs. I always look up to Ed and Lorraine Warren, and pretty much 90% of people in the paranormal community do.
What's his name?
Ed and Lorraine Warren.
Okay.
Yeah, so just as a little bit of backstory on those two, Ed Warren was a Catholic, so was Lorraine Warren, and he was only one of 7 demonologists in the world, which are people who their job is literally to research the demonic and look into demonic hauntings for the Catholic Church. And the other 6 demonologists were members of the clergy, priests, cardinals, reverends, etc., or, shaman too. And but he was none of that. He wasn't a part of the clergy. He just was recognized by the Catholic Church as a demonologist for his knowledge on the paranormal. Lorraine Warren was a psychic medium, and she was also a Catholic. And they founded the biggest paranormal society in the United States, which is the New England Society for the Paranormal. They are responsible or had a hand in pretty much every famous haunting in the United States. All of the Conjuring movies. They owned the Annabelle doll. They were at Amityville. They were at, the Perrin family haunting, Arnie Johnson. They were at everything pretty much. Yeah. The most famous guys, the pioneers of it, really.
That's them right there, Kieran? What's like the first line on their Wikipedia? Go to the top.
Yep.
Let me read like the first couple. What does that say? Zoom in on that. Ed Warren and Lorraine. I'm having an extra hard time seeing this shit today. Zoom in some more. There you go. Were American paranormal investigators and authors associated with prominent cases of alleged hauntings. Edward was a self-taught and self-professed demonologist, author, and lecturer. Lorraine professed to be, what does that say? Clairvoyant and what? Light trance medium. Okay, so this is who you respect the most in this field.
For sure, they definitely have a lot of things detracting from them. As time goes on, more things come out about them. But at the end of the day, they were the pioneers, really. It's a process. Like I said, Ed Warren, the first ever paranormal investigator, he said that there was a process to demonic possession: invitation, infestation, oppression, and then full-blown demonic possession.
Is that 4 or 5?
4, sorry. I misspoke.
Okay.
4. Or the 5th one was just death. It was what he said.
Can you break down those 4? So we kind of went over the invitation.
So
let's say hypothetically, in that situation that I went through, he was inviting it.
Yeah.
Even though he was inviting it, I was there.
Right.
So I guess that's like a rollover effect.
That would be infestation. So I'll cite some very famous paranormal cases here. So the first stage, invitation, could be, getting into contact with somebody who is practicing black magic, Santerio, Palo Mayombe, black magic religions. And that would be the invitation, right? You made contact. Next will be infestation, which is pretty much the demon is there, it's with you, but it's not doing anything. It's waiting for its chance to strike, because the belief within Catholicism, and those are like the big demon guys. They are the biggest demonology researchers. Yeah, Catholics. Their belief is pretty much that if you challenge the demonic today, it's not going to strike tomorrow. It might not strike in weeks. It might not strike in months. It will wait even years until you're most vulnerable. Then they play dirty. Demons play very dirty in their belief. So contact it's not always immediate. So infestation is just the demon waiting, kind of lingering, waiting for, maybe your mental health gets really bad. Maybe you're going on dark times, and then it'll strike. So now we move on to oppression. This is the hearing whispers at night. The, doors are slamming, seeing apparitions, seeing things that just give you intense anxiety, intense fear. And they believe the demons can feed off of that fear. And eventually, once they've worn you down enough, they will begin full-blown demonic possession, which is pretty much taking over your vessel spiritually and taking full control of you.